Well, greetings. I thought I'd take this opportunity to discuss some of the things that have been obsessing me lately. In particular, how to become a recovering nice guy. What I mean by that is that a lot of us find ourselves under a lot of social pressure. It may be upbringing pressure. It could just be that life has knocked a few of the rough edges off us. But for some reason or another, we find it necessary to abdicate our own responsibilities to ourselves and also abdicate our own self esteem often by being overly compliant. And one of the problems about being overly compliant is that people are going to be attracted to you for the wrong reasons because they want to take advantage of your compliance. But when you want people to be attracted to you for your own reasons, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. If you think about the notion of chasing people, by its very nature, the idea of chasing somebody implies that somebody else is running away or recoiling. I think of nice guy syndrome, especially when it comes to trying to impact other people. It's a little bit like the magnetic poles. If you look at two magnets, if you put them negative to positive, the magnets will cling to each other. But if you put them positive to positive, then they will never join. They will, in fact, become repellent or repulsive. I think in human nature, when somebody is overly nice, overly giving, overly forgiving, overly compliant, then they're going to become repulsive, like those poles in the magnet. The other thing about nice guy syndrome, in my view, is that it's a trick that people play. And what I mean by that is that a person who presents as a nice guy is often acting in bad faith. And by bad faith, I mean they are lying to themselves and they are lying to other people. How are they lying to themselves? I hear you ask. Well, they're lying to themselves because they think that they are somehow creating conditions under which other people should be beholden to them or grateful to them. And they're lying to others because they're not actually being nice. They're actually being manipulative in order to try and get something. I think the classic example of this is in the field of romance. In the field of romance, the nice guy, or the so-called nice guy, will do as much as possible to ingratiate himself to the person that he desires. Unfortunately, the more that he ingratiates himself, the more repulsive he becomes. And then, when he realizes what's happened, he is then somehow upset or offended. He's confused. Why am I not getting the feelings that I put out back? After all, I am a nice guy, aren't I? And then the nice guy will double complain because the so-called not nice guy seems to be more attractive than he is. Could it be that women, because of evolution and because of socialization and because of the messages that they received throughout their lives, are very, very aware of when they are being sold a lemon? And the nice guy, unfortunately, is presenting as a giant lemon quite often. So when you have this double whammy of being deceptive to the other person, but also being deceptive to yourself. I think if you realize that, it's then time to take stock and ask yourself some serious questions about how you might remedy the situation. In my view, the remedy to the situation is to embrace some radical honesty. Understand that you've been trying to play a fake hand. And the reasons for that might be way back in your past. It may be in your upbringing. It may be in the way you're socialized, as I said at the outset. But if it's not working, why do you keep doing it? As the old phrase goes, if you're in a hole, stop digging. In fact, if you're in a hole, stop digging. And if you do stop digging, don't go dragging the dirt over the top of yourself. Radical honesty involves asking yourself some serious questions. Why am I doing this? Where did this behavior begin? Why isn't it working? What do I need to do differently? I'd suggest that you start to audit yourself. Audit your behaviors. And if you detect behaviors which are false, fake, fabricated, made up, or manipulative, I think it's time for you to write those down and put a cross next to them. And having worked out how many of these behaviors you're committing, you need to sign a contract with yourself promising to stop doing it. And if you find yourself doing it, promise yourself you're going to draw a line under it and you're going to stop again tomorrow. It might be a little bit like giving up cigarettes. Not as easy as it sounds. Many people give up several times before they really give up. Such is the nature of the addiction. Now, isn't that interesting that I should use the word addiction to describe the nice guy subroutines that people run? Well, I'd hazard a guess that there is an element of addiction there, because if you are constantly afraid of being found out for the fraud that you are, even if you haven't faced it subconsciously, you know you are, then you're going to be in a constant state of fight or flight. The fear of discovery. And the fear of discovery is going to cause you to be stressed. And the stress is going to cause you to have a brain flooded with cortisol, which is a stress hormone, whenever you find yourself in conflict or challenged. How does that happen? Well, that happens because your amygdala doesn't understand the difference between being predated on by a saber-toothed tiger and social friction. So what happens when you are living within that deception and you are stressed because of the fear of being found out? Your amygdala is going to flood your frontal cortex with stress hormone called cortisol. And as a consequence, you're going to freeze. Your frontal cortex, your thinking part of your brain, is going to go offline, and you're going to commit yourself to something emotive, something frightened, something pathological. And so onwards you go. You perpetuate the cycle. So that's why it's like an addiction, because neurologically you have created conditions within your brain where those chemicals and hormones are more likely to be triggered. And you've gotten used to it. And because you've gotten used to it, in some perverse sense, you've become attached or addicted to the sensations, the fight or flight issue. What is the payoff? Well, in this particular addiction, the payoff is dodging the bullet. Have you noticed how nice guys tend to do a lot of chasing after their desired objects or people, but they never catch them? And the reason they never catch them is because, yes, they are repulsive to them, and also they're not actually interested in catching them. They're interested in the chase, they're interested in the stress, they're interested in the fight or flight kick, and they're interested in maintaining this fiction about themselves as the wounded, hurt party. If you find yourself in this situation, I strongly suggest that you engage in a radical honesty audit. And as is often the case, sharing is caring, but also sharing is a great way for somebody selfishly to come up with an idea. And I just came up with one now. I'm going to put together a radical honesty audit, and I'll put it in a link on the Pattern Interrupter YouTube channel, possibly even here. And then if you want to download it and you want to have a go at doing a radical honesty audit, you are more than welcome to do so. It'll be free because that's what I do. I design resources. That's my life. I love it. Lee Clark Academy is dedicated to designing resources. Who knows, maybe one day I'll hit up somebody and actually charge them. But let's go baby steps, shall we? Anyway, if this has been useful to you, please do feel free to make a comment, give me a thumbs up, let me know how you feel about what I've said. If it hits a nerve, then I suggest I'm talking to the right person. Because if it hits a nerve, it means that on some level, on some subconscious level, or even borderline conscious level, you know that what I'm saying is true. And if it's hitting a nerve and you know what I'm saying is true, it may be that you are the ripe kind of person and the right kind of person to engage in a radical honesty audit. The ball is in your court. Remember, whatever it is you dare to do or dream, you can begin it now. I'll catch you next time. All the best.